Hello again, everyone. Welcome back to Ultima VI. Alright, we have finished talking to Falkadesh, and he advised us to go surrender to Draxinusom. So, I suppose we can go do that. Or, of course, we could just kill them all! Destroy all the evil gargoyles! Okay, I suppose not. Looked like some interesting stuff in there. I guess we'll take a look later, though. Lord Draxinusom. That works. Hey, alright. You see a large winged gargoyle of regal bearing. To express astonishment at your audacity, false prophet. What's your name? To be named Draxinusom, leader of our race. To demand to know why you have come before me. I have come to surrender. To be here to surrender? Yep. To be willing to die to save my people? Well, it's a little lie. Yep. To grant me your life? Sure. Valkadesh. The gargoyle shows you a crystal amulet dangling from a leather cord. To consent to wear this? Sure, why not? Trusted Dupre whispers frantically to you. You mustn't! It's some sort of magical trap! The gargoyle waits impatiently for an answer. Yes or no, false prophet? Yeah, sure, why not? What's the worst that could happen? The gargoyle hands you the amulet, and you slip the leather hoop over your head. To surprise me with the nobility of your deed. To no longer be a threat to my people. To bid you to travel among my people, talk to them, learn our ways. To inform you then when the time of your sacrifices come. I'm actually not sure if the time of sacrifice will ever come, but Yep, thou dost see the Amulet of Submission, and it doesn't seem to weigh anything. So let's go ahead and move our spiked collar to Sherry. She likes wearing spiked collars. Let's talk to Draxinusom again. To be honored by your noble presence. Your presence, noble Almendretta. To feel sorrow that matters of state prevent conversation. Well, shucks. Alright, fine, Draxinusom. I won't talk to you. Let's go take a look at this place down here. Oops. The Hall of Knowledge. Hall of Knowledge. I'm glad you guys have multiple signs to say that. You see an old winged gargoyle. An odd device crafted of glass and metal rests upon his face. Come on! We're the Avatar from Earth. We know what glasses look like. And I'm pretty sure we've seen some other people in the lands of Britannia with glasses.
Yes, to inquire about the reason for this interruption.
What is your name?
To be called the caretaker in lieu of a name. To be honored by being allowed to perform my duties as caretaker of this hall.
What can you tell me of your duties?
To care for my race's artifacts that rest here in the Hall of Knowledge.
What can you tell me about the hall?
To keep the treasured artifacts of our race here in this hall, in the 3 chambers.
3 chambers?
To have 3 rooms here.
Only 3. Just 3.
To keep artifacts from the underworld in the human chamber to the east. To keep valuable books in the Librum chamber to the west. Oh, the libramity! And to keep the cube and the lens in the vortex chamber to the south.
The cube?
To regret that item is lost, stolen by human thieves years ago. To have heard the humans mention the name Stonegate as they fled.
Oh.
To have heard them say they would sail through Lost Hope Bay.
Well, I guess we're going to have to go there at some point.
To know nothing more of its whereabouts.
What about the lens?
To find what you seek in the vortex chamber. To lack any time for idle chatter. To desire you to get to the point and then depart. Okay.
Vortex. Okay. Underworld.
Yes, the underworld. To believe you'd know it as Britannia.
Britannia is the underworld? Shock! Gasp! Without another word, I don't think I actually asked him his job. What is your job? Yeah, whatever. Okay, you know what? I am really getting tired of the sound. Much better. Ooh, look! A hammer! Ooh, look! A loot! So you're the one who took the loot! You terrible, terrible thieves. A crossbow, two-handed sword, a dress... a rolling pin! Wow! Impressive collection of artifacts there in the human room. Ooh. More ethereal void. The vortex cube. The vortex lens. I'm sure they will have nothing to do with anything at all. The Book of Prosperity. Oh. Oh, okay, good. Translation.
Long ago, the great Seer, Nexotilore, summoned the Codex into the world. Thus began the great time of prosperity.
So he stole it from someone first.
The Codex was placed within the Temple of Singularity, there to be viewed by those requiring its knowledge. The Seers of the land, led by Nexotilore, collected the Codex with a force field, protected the Codex with a force field. Only those upon sacred quests for wisdom are allowed to reach and read the Codex. Within the Codex is written the one right and true answer to any problem.
So that's where where 42 is located.
One has but to reach the Codex, read it, and interpret its advice properly. With perfect wisdom and infallible knowledge, all that remains is to have the control, passion, and diligence required to follow the proper course. These are the underpinnings of our society, and so our race is able to use the Codex wisely and well. This is the reason why the Codex exists, to lead the gargoyle race to ultimate prosperity.
Clearly. That's the only possible reason it could exist. Suppose talking to a book is not the best opportunity. The Book of Family. Look, a square! I see a square. And some three-headed snails in there, I'm sure. I don't know. That was a joke a friend of mine made about Hebrew characters. Translation.
When a child hatches from his egg, he is born without wings. But even from birth, one can tell whether a child will grow up to be a winged or a wingless one. The wingless ones cannot speak and lack the intelligence of the winged ones. They must be guided. The winged ones are few, but they are entrusted with the intelligence and wisdom of the race. They must guide. Both winged and wingless ones spring from the same eggs, and both belong to the same family. All function as a single whole, to better maintain the struggle for our survival in our world.
That seems like a very odd way of procreation, perpetuating a race. The Book of Administration. Translation. For countless ages, we winged ones have led the wingless ones. This is right and proper. But we must always remember that they are no less valuable than we. A body with no head cannot move, but neither can a body with no legs. All must function in unity if anything is to be achieved. So guide the wingless ones and keep them from paths of error, but guide them with respect. Clearly. I almost talked to it again.
The Book of the Underworld. Translation. Deep below the land there is another land. In that land live many strange creatures. The most interesting of these creatures look something like our wingless ones. These daemons, however, are pale and soft, and they laugh when you poke their bellies. And they are white. and they talk about dough. Some say that these daemons from the underworld can speak, and to be sure, they make sounds that are similar to our language. But as everyone knows, no creature without wings is truly intelligent. Fables of talking daemons must be discredited.
Indeed, daemons cannot talk, so let's slay all the evil gargoyles. The Book of Ritual. Translation. Heed well as I, Nexotilore, write of how I brought the Codex to our land, and thereby ushered in the time of prosperity. With the help of the lens maker, I crafted the vortex lens by which I could see the Codex where it originally rested. I created the vortex cube to focus the power of the moonstones and draw the vortex down to the world. Then I used the lens to form an image of the Codex upon the cube. The vortex touched our plane. The image became solid and the Codex was brought down to be used properly by our race. That seems rather odd to me. How did they get the moonstones in the first place? Anyway. I suppose we can go talk to Nexotilore the Seer. You see a dark, rough-skinned gargoyle.
To greet you, Elmendred, avatar of the underworld. To see the amulet of submission around your neck. To consider your acceptance of this both noble and wise. To observe by your aura that you are truly a being of honor. To be surprised, then, that you are fated to destroy a world.
I think it's over. I think it's rumors of my destruction of worlds is vastly overstated. After all, I'm not Mike.
To have wreaked great havoc in this land by your theft of the Codex. To have no choice but to return it.
There's always choices.
To see only two alternatives, to return the Codex or to give up your life.
Clearly, those must be the only alternatives.
To know not where the Codex is, but to remember that Captain Bullish just returned from the Codex. To suggest you seek him, to try the healer's house to the north.
What is your name again?
To be called Nexotilore.
What is your job?
To be a seer, mystic advisor to my people. But to be unable to avert that what is written in the Book of Prophecies.
Okay.
Farewell, Elmendred, to return when there is more we can discuss.
Yep, I suppose I will do that. Alright, how about we go up this way? See if there's a building over here. There are some beds. There's a spit. With a horse carcass. What is wrong with you? You truly are evil gargoyles. Daemons, I must slaughter you all. Oh, I suppose I won't. Hi, guys. Is that what you were hearing, Shimino? They're not attacking me. Actually, let's see what this sign says. Healer. Oh, okay. You see a somber and calm gargoyle.
To see the amulet, the symbol of your courage and nobility. To wish to help you however I can.
What is your name?
To be nameless, being only a healer.
Only a healer? Psh! That never stopped. That's an important duty. You should have a name. What is your job?
To be entrusted with the tasks of healing those wounded and curing those sick. To do this for all, as a service to society.
Can you tell me anything about Captain Bullish? Okay. Apparently not. Maybe, Wow, you look rather interesting. You see a strong, winged gargoyle warrior. He is sorely wounded. The gargoyle struggles to sit up.
The false prophet! But to wear the amulet of submission? Then to express awe at your honor and courage.
What is your name?
To be named Bullish Us Agra Lem, Bullish the troop leader.
The leader?
To lead what remains of our forces into battle. To have recently returned from a mission to your side of the world.
Yeah, did you happen to meet me? No, you couldn't have, because I slaughtered so many of your fellows. I should tell you some stories. Why are you looking at me like that? I suppose you don't want to hear about the stories of my slaughter of gargoyles, huh? No? Okay. We can talk about that later. Tell me about the Codex.
To have had victory between our claws, but to have been thwarted on the verge of success. To have encountered an impervious force field around the Codex.
A force field, huh?
To know that such a field surrounded the Codex when my people possessed it. To remember that only those on sacred quests for wisdom could pass. To receive a sacred quest at the Temple of Singularity, but to be uncertain whether a human's request would be answered there.
I'll make it work.
To lead what remains of our forces into battle. To have recently returned...
Okay, I think we're done.
Farewell, false prophet. To honor my people with your sacrifice.
Yeah, we'll see about that later. What do we have here? Goods crafter. Ah, fishing pole. Interesting. You look kind of bored there. You see a quiet, listless gargoyle.
To see the Amulet of Submission. To suppose then that my world has been saved. But to feel that salvation has come too late.
Too late, you say? It is never too late for salvation. Have you brought Jesus into your life? No, I'm sorry.
To refuse to discuss my grief with the being that caused it.
Aw, come on. Oops.
Surely to know what pain you have caused by stealing the Codex. To not believe that you care. To believe, in fact, that you enjoy causing suffering.
Me enjoy causing suffering? Oh, I am hurt by this. I'm just going to have to kill you, slowly and painfully, and laugh delightfully while you die.
To not believe that you would do anything to help.
What is your name, anyway?
To not have a name. To have nothing at all now.
What is your job?
To be a goods crafter, though to have no reason to make goods now. To invite you to take what you want.
Oh, sweet.
To wait here for you to return to kill me.
Well, if you insist. No, I won't.
To ask why you disturb me again, false prophet.
I want to ask about your grief again. No? No? Okay. I would be happy to try to help, but no, if you're gonna be a jerk like that, that's... Wait, are you going somewhere? Yep. Wonder where you're going. Food maker! You hear something to the west, huh? Hey, get off the table. No dancing on the tables. Oh my god, a gargoyle doing a table dance. Run! Run! Before it burns your eyes. You see a large and boisterous gargoyle. He carries a knife, large enough to be a sword.
The false prophet! To welcome you to my place of cooking. To offer you the best food in all the world.
Food?
Yes, to offer you this finely roasted meat.
With a few strokes of his huge knife, the gargoyle cuts you a slice of meat. Do you take the meat? Sure. Your party eats the preferred food. Whatever. The flavor is unlike anything you've had before. It is delicious. Iolo speaks.
I wonder what sort of meat this is, El Madreda.
The gargoyle beams with pride.
To ask you, is it not the best meat you have ever eaten?
Yes.
To not know what it is. To not know. To be called food maker, not having a name yet. But to be the finest cook in the land.
What is your...
To receive a name someday soon for my skill.
Indeed, I'm sure you will. After all, that meat was delicious. We should bring some back for Smith. I'm sure he'd enjoy some too.
To cook and serve food for all the gargoyles who live in these parts. Also to guide and instruct the wingless ones in cooking chores. To have to watch their every move, but to acknowledge that they are vital to our society.
Can you tell me about the meat we had?
To be famous among all the gargoyles for the quality of my horse flesh.
Oh.
Wait, to give you some fine horse flesh to take with you on your trip.
Do you accept as a gift? Sure. The chef gives Dupre 5 horse chops. Horse chops.
To welcome you to come back when you are hungry again.
Let's go talk to Push Me Pull You about the horse chops. I'm sure he would... He, she, it, whatever. And Smith. Let's mention it to Smith, too. Ooh, Weaponsmith.
What is it for?
Ooh, Silver Serpent Venom. You see a young, nervous-looking gargoyle.
The false prophet. To thank you for your upcoming sacrifice. To greatly respect your nobility and courage.
What is your name?
To be but a simple weaponsmith, false prophet. To lack a name, as is appropriate for my station.
I disagree.
To be the master weaponsmith now, although to have been but recently a simple apprentice.
Why have you been promoted?
To greatly regret the loss of my master killed during the disasters, but to carry on in the face of adversity, and certainly not to lose all passion for life, like the worthless goods crafter.
What can you tell me about the goods crafter?
To consider him a discredit to the race, most of all to consider him a dishonor to my late master.
Dishonor? Why?
To cheapen all our loss, all our grief by his self-pity, to have lost my master, like a father to me, yet to maintain control, to maintain diligence, most of all to maintain passion for life, to feel that the goods crafter dishonors us all by abandoning our principles, to feel that the goods crafter needs another trip to the catacombs.
Catacombs?
Yes, to have visited them myself once, long ago, to find there shrines to our 3 principles, control, passion, and diligence, to speak with these shrines and meditate, to receive new insight, to not remember where the catacombs are, to be sent there by the Temple of Singularity, to find that to the north in the mountains, to advise you to find some way to fly if you wish to get there, though.
Why fly? Surely you've carved a passage through the mountains.
To be unable to reach the temple on foot, to be forced to fly over the mountains.
Well, that's just crazy. Apprentice... Disasters.
Yes, surely to know of the disasters, to have only barely survived the earthquakes after the codex disappeared.
What else was it? Weapon? Now. Can we buy?
No.
All?
To create these items for the use of all. To give these wares to any gargoyle who has need of them. To invite you to look around at my wares as well. To ask if any of them interest you?
Sure. Okay. Alright. So, we could actually take anything that we wanted if we wanted anything, but we don't really need to. Let's see. What else is there to do? Let's go this way. Let's see. Anyone here? Nope. People have really thick walls. And it looks like it's getting dark. Ah, I see you there trying to hide from me. You see a large, healthy-looking winged gargoyle.
To note that you wear the Amulet of Submission.
Oh, that voice is going to hurt my throat.
To admire your courage and to appreciate your sacrifice. To ask your name that I may address you in a noble manner.
I am Elmandretta, of course.
To greet you, Elmandretta.
What is your name?
To be named Krill us Arbvas them. Krill, the leader of farmers.
Leader?
To be forced by necessity to give the wingless ones no room for for choice of freedom. To consider them valuable members of society. who need firm control and strong leadership, to explain that they are far less intelligent than you or I.
Okay, freedom.
To acknowledge that it may seem harsh, but to assure you that there is no other way to treat the wingless ones. To receive good harvest only through firm control and clear direction.
Oops. I don't think we really need to talk to him, actually. Oh, that's right. One of the weapons, the weaponsmith, sleeps in there too. Let's see what this says. Here lie the honored remains of those who have been sacrificed. Here lie those who had no names. Oh, that doesn't sound good. It's a tomb of the unknown soldier. The sacrificial slab? My god, it's from the beginning of the game. Within this chamber rest the bones of kings. The bones of kings, eh? We might take a look at that. I haven't decided yet. Let's actually go ahead and cast a Great Light spell as long as we're here. But we will decide what to do in the next episode. See you then.